Hello, I'm Mark Zwinderman, the CEO of SAS Environmental Services, and today I'm going to walk you through a case study, which is the delivery and commissioning of an SAS MIST 220 system for the treatment of oil sludge to a waste management company based in Ecuador. This is a really fascinating project, and this particular company had a number of waste issues that it wanted to address and opportunities that it wanted to capture. And those involved both liquid waste from refinery operations, traditional sludge with a high oil content that could be recovered, and solids would then be able to go to bioremediation at the site. And at this site, already a lot of bioremediation work was being carried out of hydrocarbon contaminated land and soil. Now, some of that waste takes a very long time to bioremediate, and that limits how much waste you can process through bioremediation. But if you can take waste that has relatively high hydrocarbons and put it through the system, and using our chemistry and engineering remove as much of the hydrocarbons as you can, then that opens up the capability of processing more waste on site and therefore growing your business. So in this case, the system was designed both to take liquid waste, but it had to take more solid waste. So what we do in this case is we can modify the waste before it actually goes through the actual separation stage. In this case, we used two blending tanks. They were built by a local design and engineering company, and those blending tanks allowed the customer to add oil or water to the solid waste to actually create a liquid waste from solid waste, then put that liquid sludge through the mist system, and using our chemistry, that would then result in very dry solids that can either go to landfill or be further bioremediated. And the liquid waste, the oil and the water, would simply come out the other end and would be recovered. So it's a really fascinating thing. And as always, we start off with a waste evaluation and process development stage where we really get to know the company that we work with and the waste that they look to process and what their customer requirements are. And so in this case, it was a really interesting mixture of very high hydrocarbon liquid waste and solid waste. And the chemistry worked absolutely brilliantly, and it was clear that this was a perfect solution for this particular issue. So once it was clear that our chemistry and process would be able to handle the waste the customer was looking to treat, we then moved to work with the customer and plan the site layout, the operations, the actual taking waste from a waste pit, getting it to the system, then actually getting into the blending tanks or in the mist system itself. The operational issues surrounding how do you move waste around the site, how do you do this safely and efficiently. It was a really good project to work on, and a wonderful relationship with this customer, with a really excellent team. And we managed to come up with an excellent layout that would make it possible to move the IBCs of chemistry close to the system, have the blending tanks there, have storage tanks for the oil and water, and have the collecting waste pits right next door as well. So a really excellent way to go about doing a project like this. As part of it, there's site surveys where we look what waste is on site, what's the layout, what's the nature of this waste. There's a lot of waste in this particular site, and some of this waste has been there for a long time trying to bioremediate. And it was really trying to do an assessment to see some of this waste is quite liquid, we can process it, and other waste is so far down the bioremediation route already, there is probably no point putting that through the system. So it's just an evaluation of what there was on site and making sure that we knew exactly what we could do. And then ultimately, it comes to the point where the system is about ready to be delivered. And we work with the team locally so that they were completely prepared for the arrival of our engineers and chemists, and also of the mist system itself. And this is a picture of the site just before the arrival of the mist system. And what you see here is the chemical storage under a roof because of the climate and the rain. So there are 6 IBCs. They're right next to the mist system. The blending tanks are located at the front end, so this allows us to take more solid waste and augment it by adding chemistry, water, and or oil to it and create a more liquid waste. There's the platform. On this concrete platform, the MIST 220 system is going to be located. And then at the foreground, we have the collecting pits for the dry solids when they come out. There is water here, but that's only because it's been raining. And then once the system was on site, was a training of about a week where we took the team and we took them through all the basic engineering and mechanical issues. But important to point out here is that the operations panel inside the MIST system is a fully integrated containerized system. Everything is connected, everything can be controlled and operated by one operator, one control panel. We had dual language, so we had Spanish and English, which is very easy to set up. And it makes it really, really easy to operate the system. It really is tremendously robust. It's just a very short training period before people become comfortable in working with this system. And a lot of time has gone into making the system so that it is actually easy to use and easy to operate. Obviously, once the system's there and it's all being hooked up, there's the basic hydraulic integrity testing, just making sure that everything is properly plumbed and everything working. The blending tanks, as I said at the start, they were designed by a local engineering company, and there were some modifications that we wanted to make just to make sure that these would work properly and would give us the absolute best waste preparation step that we could get. So the blending mechanism that was in those tanks was probably a little bit on the short and small side, so we increased that, and we got fantastic results, as you can see in that small picture. The chemistry worked to treat, and we managed to augment that waste and really get the results the customer was looking for. And ultimately, at the end, after we left, we were there for 6 days. The system was entirely plugged in, the blending tanks were up and running, everything was working, the chemistry was there doing its job. And as you can see here, the dry solids discharged were very, very dry. They look a bit black, but that's really just because they're a little bit wet. And you can see on the smaller picture on the side that after a few hours of drying, the solids really are very, very dry. So it was excellent to get the results that we were looking for and to get a really good, meaningful outcome. So it's a fantastic project to be involved in. If you have any questions, contact us via email, via telephone, find us on LinkedIn, find us on YouTube, leave a comment, ask a question, and we will definitely reply and get back to you as soon as we can. And hopefully we'll have an opportunity to work with you as much as we enjoyed working with this particular project. Thank you very much.